It's Erebos Hate here, and ChipsNChoy, James and Junie. We'll be casting your Siege today. We do have a best of 3 match between P4C and Weeabootique. Maps have already been picked, and we will be going into them in order, with Oregon being the tiebreaker. The first map will in fact be Border, and then we will be going into Villa with Oregon as a tiebreaker. All right, so we're going to get started here. And Junie, can you talk a little bit about the settings that we're going to be using here?
So we're using the same settings as Pro League, which means that we will be having a pick and ban system, and we'll also be having the 6th pick activated, as well as the HUD being minimal and points being turned off. And as you can see right now, Weeabootique is currently banning an operator.
So with the pick and ban system, teams do have the option to eliminate either their weak points, maybe even hard breachers, or any sort of advantage or disadvantage they might find themselves coming into here. So we're going to see which operators they choose to pick and ban here. Two for each team will ban 1 for attack and 1 for defense, and we're going to see what they end up choosing here.
And they pick Blackbeard.
All right, so they will be taking a Blackbeard, so that will be an advantage towards not having to worry about the shield for the headshots here, which will work really well here in Border, as they won't really be able to utilize any of the windows or kind of peek any of the high ground either.
And P4C appears to be banning Thatcher, which, although interesting, isn't necessary because there are other operators that can fill his role. So he's not completely necessary on Border, but I suppose it's helpful. If you'll keep in mind, Weeabootique is on defense first, so they have the advantage of not having to face Blackbeard or Thatcher first. And the next ban is Echo. Echo is a rather critical operator on defense because on the bomb game mode, he's capable of running the time very low and perhaps even clutching the round at the very end, if he's allowed to live, or if his drones are allowed to stay alive.
In addition, he does now have the buff with 2 drones, which will serve to be a good advantage for them.
Ooh, and Mira is banned out. Mira has been a very critical operator in the recent meta of Siege because she's so capable of changing the site on defense to very favorable options. And now we'll be doing the pick phase, and when both teams are done, they'll be showed the picks of the enemy team, and they'll have the chance to switch 1 operator, and that's called the 6th pick.
All right, so we're going to see with the removal of Thatcher here, they are going to opt for a Twitch to help with that anti-breach, as well as we will see the addition of Thermite, a hard breacher, and Dokkaebi, more of a support, Dokkaebi and Jackal, more of a support duo to help track down any roamers, or using their combination between Call and the Jackal track to kind of lure anyone out and sort of force them into a bad position.
In addition, we do see the Valkyrie, so depending on where the cameras are placed, they could be playing very aggressively. They also have the 3 armored characters in Rook and Doc. They have ACOGs on defense, and they could challenge very long lines of sight with those sights. So we might be seeing some very aggressive play from the defense. Your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
We could see now we're in the prep phase. Let's see where the defenders are picking. They picked customs and supply closet for the first site, which is an interesting pick because it's usually considered a pocket strategy. Interestingly.
We're going to see, I'm really interested to see how the Valkyrie here sets up her cams. There's really not a lot of options for her here in terms of her cam placements. You know, you see her a lot on the upper sites and throwing them out on the balcony to kind of keep an eye outside. So we're going to see where she chooses to output them here. It will definitely allow for a lot of good information as the offense looks to enter here.
That camera will cover a lot of that outside, inside and open area, but I'm not entirely certain what they're planning on doing with that yet.
All right, so we got to remember here on the defense, there is they have a lot of bulk to them, so they can choose to take a lot of these more longer range brawly fights here, and are okay with expending some of their health in order to get an advantage here.
Let's take a look at the offense here. Thermite's placing his exothermic charge on the outside wall. Looks like he's ready to breach, but the enemy team has a mute, so he's waiting for the Twitch to come in.
All right, so it's going to be on this Twitch here in order to clear up the path for Thermite, giving a huge angle for them if they can get the drone in well enough and not really lose the drones here. I'm going to be interested to see if the Mute is going to be defending his stuff, knowing with the picks that were made. So it seems like Twitch is able to get in here and does find the Mute Jammer here. That will give an opportunity for Thermite to Thermite through the wall here. And we're going to find anyone who's exposed from behind that wall.
He gets away. And
so we see a pick coming in here for the offensive side. It wasn't through the Thermite wall, and it ended up being elsewhere. So we do see the offense here taking the high ground from them in the upstairs area, doing somewhat of a roam clear here. And we see Finka blasting through the wall, taking down Pinch here. Either lucky or maybe he got droned out. But either way, a really good pick for the offense.
I believe that was a hole on the wall there. He just shot it. Ooh. And Finka goes down to Valkyrie lying down in the middle of the floor there. Bit of odd positioning, but it worked out. And the phone calls are coming out. The attackers have a few seconds to take advantage of that, but they appear not to be. And the attackers are slowly working their way into the building. There's 1 minute left. Let's see how they decide to take this down. And Mute goes down. He was shot by a Twitch from outside, I believe.
So not only do the attackers have the advantage here, they also have Dokkaebi. Well, Dokkaebi is not down, but they have Jackal with the smokes here, so it's really going to help them kind of approach and try to plant here. We see Thermite inside now already, trying to kind of clear some space out for his team.
It appears that the roamers have all been cleared out, and the only two operators left on the defense are Mute, who's on the ground, and Frost on the site, and she goes down. The P4C team, the attackers, have taken the first round. Oh, and a bit of an ill-advised run out there by the Frost, especially with the shotgun. Ran right into the silenced 417 of the Twitch. That's a bit of an odd choice of weapons, considering Twitch also has access to the FAMAS, which is considered the best assault rifle in the game. So, but it worked, I guess.
All right, so we're going to see how the defense looks to adapt here, and if they're going to opt to choose the same site. So we can see now they've taken a little bit more. They're going again, actually, for relatively the same operators here, minus the Valkyrie. So opting to give up that information for a little bit more of a zone install from the smoke here. Generally a very well-rounded character. And it looks like the attack will be going with the relatively the same strategy here.
I think that is the same strategy. I think those are the same operators. But it's pretty well-rounded. They have the hard breach and the Twitch to clear out any Mute Jammers. So they could probably clear breach and clear the building pretty effectively. Ooh, and the 6th pick coming out for the first time. Ben Ped switches from the Rook to the Alibi. Let's see how they'll be able to deal with those, depending on where he places them.
Yeah, we're going to want to see the attackers here use the information to their advantage to make sure they can identify the alibis before they shoot it. Obviously, you don't want to give away your position. So really the pre-planning from the attack here is going to make a big difference with the addition of alibi on the defense.
You can see the site this time is upstairs. This is considered one of the most viable sites on this map, but without a mirror, they'll have to make some improvements to it.
So with the removal of Blackbeard as well, we're going to see people having a much harder time trying to hold B from the attacker's side, as generally you'll run the Blackbeard outside that window to really give yourself a really good angle. But with the removal of that, we will see what they kind of choose to opt here if they go for B.
5 seconds left.
Alternatively, it doesn't seem like they're reinforcing the outside of A.
Attackers are heading out.
I believe they did.
I believe they did, yes. But we're going to see what they're going to do. They will have the Mute here, so they're going to have to deny that. But again, they have the Twitch. So it's really going to come down to the Twitch to help the Thermite here get value.
The Twitch drone's going into the site, looks like. But there's only one person to deny it. Looks like it's kind of just parked, waiting.
So we see Thermite coming up here. We can really see the coordination between the Twitch and the Thermite here, getting ready to try to breach this large wall. Now he is relatively alone, so he's going to have to watch out for flankers kind of on his backside here.
It looks like they shot out the thing, the Mute Jammer. Yep. And they got the wall open. That's the most critical first step to taking the site. And he takes a bit of damage from Doc, but due to the Finka blast, it doesn't really matter, it appears.
So we're going to see the attackers have already opened up a very powerful angle here. So we're going to see how the other side chooses to operate and see if they're going to full push the.
Oh wow, they've already cleared the first floor.
All right, so the attacker is going for a really good roam clear here, making sure the first floor is safe. And they're going to be looking to push in onto the site now, knowing that most of the people will be on the site here, not having to worry too much about roamers.
Smoke's taking up a very sneaky position here, but they appear to be falling off of it.
So we can see a lot of the people coming from inside here. We know the Thermite has breached the outside wall, but we do see a lot of the team coming in through the building here.
So it kind of looks like it's stalled out a little bit. They're not sure exactly where to go. They're moving back and forth.
Smoke really doing a good job of denying them entry here. But we're going to see if he's able to establish long enough for them to actually make a difference. So we do see Finka come in here, but she will be taken out very quickly by that alibi.
Drop the diffuser.
Who gets a double kill, looks like.
So great start here for the defense. Already
Ooh.
2 down on the attack.
And Red Slime appears to be stuck in a frost trap here. That's unfortunate. That's 5 to effectively 2 attack right now, which is not the best in terms of odds.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're cleaning them up here. So either they're too afraid to push that, or maybe a miscommunication on their part. But either way, attackers not looking great here. Only 2 down. The Twitch and the Thermite have been able to get a lot of value reaching that big wall, but a lot of the inside push has not been viable enough to really get value out of it.
And Sordin, taking up a rather risky position, gets caught out by Thermite here. Points are also off in Pro League, so it's not. They don't necessarily know that the Togepi is down, and looks like she's been finished off. Smoke is still holding that position. Let's see if he benefits off of it.
Attackers have recovered.
No, he'll continue to hold it.
So Smoke here, still with some smokes left. He's going to have a really good time of trying to stall them out here and really preventing them from moving in.
Thermite's trying to take an aggressive position here. He's just running through the smoke. Oh, and he goes down to the shotgun.
So a really good adaptation here coming out from the defense. They really were caught off guard the first attack here, and they were really cut off by a lot of angles. But they were able to very, very tankily hold the site here this time. You know, we've seen that they haven't really opted for many roamers. What is your opinion on that in terms of border?
I mean, if the enemy, the attackers don't appear to have a solid unified attack strategy on a site one way or another, so if the defenders can just hold their positions and win their gunfights, then there's not much that they have to think about, really.
All right, so we're going to see an adaptation here from the attack. They're going to opt to look for the Ash here. With the defense opting for the same strategy, we're going to see what site they choose to hold this time and how they're going to use the operators they've picked on that site.
And now it's the 6th pick. Let's see if they... Ooh, the alibi is being switched off. You see, last time they switched off to the alibi. Now they're switching the alibi to Caveira.
Interesting. So reverse of the pick they did last time. So we are going to see a much stronger roamer on the field here. And we're going to see how they choose to utilize that. As although the attackers have been doing a good job at roam clearing, they haven't really been solidified in their attack. So, you know, we're going to see how much value the Caveira can really find here.
Ooh, and they pick Bathroom and Tellers. Bathroom Tellers is considered the least viable site because there's a wall that leads directly to the outside. Right on the site, so it's considered very difficult to hold. But let's see if they can figure out how to do it.
We've already seen Twitch and Thermite get a lot of value here, but they do opt to drop the Twitch. So assuming they can get that Thermite charge through via an alternate method, this is going to be a really solid attack from the offense here.
Generally speaking, you don't really need a support operator to clear out breach denial on this site because you can just shoot it out through the window. But they don't necessarily know that this is a site because it's not exposed.
And we're going to see if Caveira can get enough value here. Because it is so close to the outside, there's not really a ton of places she can roam here. You know, you could play very, very aggressively from the 2nd floor even, but we're going to see what she opts to do here. And Thermite already running straight up to the wall, trying to get that Thermite charge on.
They have a very interesting shield placement there. Because of that shield, they cannot vault directly into that window, but they can destroy the shield and vault inside through that. But they did open the door anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And Frost is picking up armor. Picking up armor is good, but it's a bit late in the round for that.
So we already see Jackal here was able to take out Rook, already giving a good advantage to the offense and kind of showing the viability of the site here. We do see a bit of a split push here. We see people kind of looking to enter through the building as they are already in, and they're kind of looking. They're going to look to push out some of the roamers here. The outside group seems to just be waiting to kind of give time for their inside partners to get a good position.
And Tokibi's in a very good position right now to take advantage of the smoke. Oh no! He whiffs. And the smoke keeps running away. Does he get away? And the bomb has been planted in the meantime.
All right, so we're going to see how the defenders are going to look to defuse this here. The attackers do have the advantage. The bomb planted, they have 3 up, and the defenders are only down to the Frost here. We're going to see what she's able to do. She manages to even it up to at least 2-1, but she's going to have to run out here in order to defuse this, as they're just going to hold from the outside.
And she goes down. Shotgun's not particularly the best weapon to do a run out with, which is unfortunate, but the site's not exactly easy to hold.
Yeah, we really want to see how the roamers are getting value. You know, we see Smoke pseudo roaming a lot of the time, or at least holding off site. You know, we saw the Cav kind of running around, but you know, with the site pick, it doesn't seem like they synergize very well. So we're gonna want to see an adaptation coming out of the defense there.
So the best way to hold that is usually to pop the hatch above the site or make holes above it and defend from above, because if you could just shoot down onto the defenders or attackers, it's a lot easier. But it appears that they're bringing a blitz this time. Interesting pick.
In addition, we didn't really see the attackers clear out the top area, so they had enough resources and didn't really get pushed out there, so they could have sat up top for quite a bit longer.
They did have a lot of room to work with, and Blitz is switched off to Ash again, and the attackers are bringing the same team. And the defenders have decided that Caviera probably wasn't the best idea. Her gun's not the best on defense, so if you're not roaming heavily and making advantage of that, then it's probably better to pick someone else. And they decide to pick Bathroom Tellers again. That's rather interesting considering there's also other viable sites on this map.
So we're going to see if they make the necessary adaptations now to hold either the high ground or really breach deny them from getting in, which is quite difficult given the window right there.
So there is a mute jammer on that hard wall, but that doesn't necessarily stop the attackers because, well, you could just go to that window and shoot them from that window.
Yeah, so we're going to see, assuming the attackers do relatively the same thing here, are able to clear out roamers, are able to open the wall, there should be another clear for the attackers here, unless the defense makes a solid adjustment. And we do see Frost going up top here, but we're going to see if she just is there to clear the hatch or if she's going to shoot down into them.
She's setting the traps up there. Interesting. So that might mean that they're holding up there. It looks like Tokibi and Finka are... Nope, Tokibi is trying to maybe clear it from the other side, get a good flank down. As you can see, the attackers are trying to get the thermite charge down and open. And Ash uses a breaching charge to clear out the jammer so that thermite has a clear shot at breaching this wall.
And once again, this wall is open, giving a good angle for the attackers here to kind of look for any kind of picks they want, playing that long-range advantage here.
Now, since the wall is open, they can plant anywhere in that open area. And they also have Jackal, so he might have smokes. No, he does not. Never mind. But Tokibi does have smokes, so she could potentially go for a smoke plant, smoking off the objective and planting it.
And we see there are actually defenders upstairs this time. They are opting to hold upstairs a bit more. But we're going to see what Jackal, Finka, and Tokibi can do to kind of clear them out here.
And there's Frost up there, but she's got a shotgun, so they're going to have a hard time pushing this tight angle. Oh, but Finka's coming in from the other side, who also has a shotgun.
So we can see this this scissor push here from the attackers on this one Frost here. Really a tough position for her. It was a really good attempt at a hold from up top, but they're able to cut through it. Now giving the attackers a huge advantage here. They control the high ground, they've opened the big wall, and they should be relatively clear to plant here.
And they clear out the hatch as well, so there's not really much place for the defenders to hold.
It is still a 4v3, but there is a good positional advantage coming out from the attackers here. But we do see a nice C4 kill to kind of even up the odds here for the defenders.
They have effectively cut off B site from the attackers, but let's see if they can make advantage of it.
So we see them smoking off some angles here, kind of looking to plant. And we're going to see that how the smoke provides enough cover to get this plant off.
Activating the bomb diffuser.
And it has gone down. However, there's one attacker and he's above the hatch, but do they know about that? No, they did not. Oh, they learned it. Yep. Now they should have just the right amount of time to defuse it, and
A very strong retake there from the defense, you know. Even given the situation and they've lost a lot of their positioning, they were able to come back in and really clean up the attackers, giving them an opportunity, a 3v1 opportunity, and then, you know, the guy up top does get some damage off, but they quickly react and take him out.
That could have potentially been winnable by the offense had he gone to the position right above the bomb. There was a hole made there previously by the Frost. He could have used that to shoot down onto the person defusing and could have potentially clutched that out, but looks like it was for not. And we're going into Armory Lockers this time. That is the site that the defenders first won at. And they're bringing in Ella. It looks like Ben Ped is the one who's mainly switching operators here. The rest of the team looks about the same.
And it's really nice to have that flex pick in your pocket, someone who can play a lot of ops. And we do finally see a 6 pick come out from the blue team here.
P4C.
And we're going to see Capitao, which is very interesting. We're going to probably see the use of his smokes, as they are opting to get rid of Dokkaebi. And they don't really want to have anyone without smokes, as we know Jackal has ran without smokes a few times here.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
It looks like the defenders are not running any breach denial this time, but so the Twitch won't see that much usage probably. The only gadgets on defense right now are Ella's mines, so there's not much for the Twitch to zap here.
We see a little bit of a misplay there, as it seems that Frost took a little bit of damage, but Doc healed her up, but that will be one Doc pistol down already. If at all he ever gets to use all 3 of them. So we're going to see how they want to hold here. So last time they did hold the high ground very well. They don't really have it in play this time. But we're going to see how they choose to roam, if they choose to roam at all. They do have the Ella, they have the smoke, and Frost has been roaming quite a bit through this series as well. So we're going to see how they opt to use these.
That was quite the throw by Capitao there.
All right, so it looks like the attackers will be coming from Valley here, kind of looking to push the high ground here, walk up the cat, and kind of see where they want to enter.
Looks like Thermit's trying to breach the hard wall again. He does not have support directly on him, but there is not breach denial, so he'll probably get that open, and that's a big advantage for the attackers. But the other half of the team appears to be going for the other side. They appear to be going for a southeast side take. Let's see if they're... Let's see if they could do it time effectively, because I think they ran out of time near the end of the last round.
So we see them here kind of looking for roamers, but there's not really any available. They don't do a bottom roam there first. So again, a really good opportunity from the defense to be able to put roamers down there and to come up behind them, but they don't really take advantage of that. They do look to have a similar hold as they did last time with the smoke on this door here, holding a very strong close angle with this shotgun.
Ooh, Capitao goes down from the outside. He appears to have gotten shot by Ella on a very high position. Yeah, and he's trying to get around, maybe get the kill. No, Capitao's been picked up. Oh, he's peeks the angle again, but he doesn't die. And there goes Ella again onto that position. The attackers do know about it this time, but he jumps in. Unfortunate.
Capitao having a really hard time dislodging this Ella, you know. It's a very common spot known in the competitive scene, holding up on top of those racks up there on the computer.
Thermite's finally deciding to go open up that hard wall.
Yep, so we are going to see another angle available to the attackers here, leaving the defense just another way they have to watch. But although they have opened up the angles, they've taken some positioning, they've expended a lot of resources to get there.
They're also two men down, so it doesn't look the best for the attackers, but it is possible to turn it around, especially because you only need 1 bullet to win. And looks like Sorden's caught out in a very unfortunate position as the Twitch takes him out.
In addition, if the Jackal's not running smokes, they've lost a lot of their ability to plan, and it does look like Twitch will go down here to the Ella.
It appears that the one left is Jackal, and this doesn't look very winnable. Let's see if he could figure something out. Shoots at the barricade that was just put up, and he gets shot up. He's pulling out the secondary shotgun. Not usually recommended because it doesn't do that much damage, and he loses out the shotgun battle to smoke.
Well, that's what happens when you run the secondary shotgun against the primary shotgun. We're going to see here the defense have done a very good job at holding this specific site. They've really struggled on the other sites they've looked to chose, but they seem to have a very solid idea of what they want to do here. Even without the roamers putting the pressure behind them, they're able to hold the sites effectively, as the attack doesn't seem to have a cohesive strategy of pushing into it.
Yeah, they're stalling out a lot in the hallway. They don't really have a plan to get into the objective. So let's see if they can figure out a way to get into that objective. And we're seeing ventilation room and workshop for the first time. That's usually considered the second most viable site on this map. The defenders. Oh, right, we have halftime now, so we're switching between attackers and defenders. And they're bringing out some interesting operator picks here. They have Vigil, who is basically invisible to drones. He will probably be roaming. Frost still being picked. These teams appear to highly favor Frost's, although she's has a almost 0% pick rate in Pro League. And Legion is also here. He's pretty good at slowing down the attackers if they're not aware of that.
Attackers need to locate
In addition, there's Finka on the enemy team, so she will effectively be countered because the Legion mines cancel out the Finka blast.
We will see here they are opting to run the Habana over the Thermite, giving them a lot more opportunity to make poke holes here to kind of prod out how they want to take the attack. However, we also see the addition of Lion here. Even with his recent nerf, we're going to see how they look to make use of him. They aren't running a blitz, so they aren't really looking to be able to push with both Finka Blast as well as the Lion. So we're going to see how they choose to enter. Most probably looking towards the Ash here to kind of take that entry fragger role. And on the defense side as well, we are looking for quite a lot of traps and good options for roamers here. So we're going to see that, you know, while Weeabootique didn't really take advantage of roaming, we're going to see if P4C is going to take more advantage of roaming here.
We could see the Vigil previously setting up upstairs. These are some very strong positions to deny entrance into the objective. Let's see if the enemy team, the attackers, are aware of that.
So
and looks like Ash started to breach the objective building early.
It looks like the attackers here are going to have to do a roam clear if they're going to want to take these sites. You know, they're really going to have to push out the people holding above them, and to make sure it's totally safe for them to plant.
Bomb located by attackers.
They are quite spread out, so I'm not sure which direction they're planning on pushing.
So we can see here the attackers are kind of looking to push B here. We have 3 of them stacked up there, ready to push in, but they're really going to have to dislodge the Alibi, who's up top. You can see here right now, him as well as the Vigil looking down onto the site. You know, and unless they do either a drone or a roam clear, they're going to have a really tough time fighting against this high ground positioning.
Vigil is a really good position up here, looking down into the window. That window is one of the 2 entrances into B site. So if they're not aware of that, they're going to have a really hard time. And looks like Frost takes out an early kill.
So we can see they're not making a concise push here, and Frost is able to get a lot of value on an off angle here, as they can't spend so much time outside.
And Lion gets used for the first time, and he gets a kill. He's trying to clear out the roamers. Ooh, it looks like the defenders are down quite a few bodies now, off of a really fast push into the building.
So a very successful roam clear here from Lion and his compadres, as they are able to dislodge the people held up top, giving them a big opportunity here to plant now.
Lion has control of upstairs, so he can effectively rain death onto defenders.
Yeah, we can see the defenders here aren't left with a lot of options. They're down a man, you know, the attackers will be planting here, as well as they have the high ground control. So we're going to really see what the defense need to do here in order to clutch us out. So Legion is able to even this out here. We do see the Lion come in to try to stall here, as well as get any information they can find. But we will still find that the Lion the Lion and the Twitch have a strong hold here on the bomb site.
Looks like the Twitch is looking away at the exact wrong time, back and forth. Ooh, and it's unfortunate the Rook gets caught in the hole in the wall, and he cannot kill the Twitch effectively. As you can see, his arm peeks out a little bit there, but he can't get inside at the right timing, so he gets taken out. And the attackers take a round.
A really solid adaptation from the attackers here, understanding the issue of the high ground hold and really adapting to it.
Although I would have liked for more people on the roam clear and a faster one, but I guess they did it in an effective time, and they managed to end the round quickly.
And a really good clutch from Twitch there, being able to hold that bomb even to the last moments here. Again, we're going to see ops for more trap-oriented defense here. They will have the Bandit, so they will have the anti-breach as well as the roaming capability that Bandit allows. They have a lot of roamers, actually, really just leaving Kapkan and, you know, maybe Vigil or Smoke to hold the site here. So we're going to see what they opt to do here with a very heavy roam hold, or how they're going to adapt here. With the attackers doing relatively the same, opting for Ash's time as I believe they had Ash last time, correct?
Yep.
Yes, so having that entry fragger there will be very, very helpful. And I believe otherwise it will be a Twitch instead of a Finka.
So this site heavily favors Thermite because of this specific wall that Vigil's reinforcing here. That wall can open a lot of attack lines for planting the bomb. And Thermite's the most effective one at doing that because he can make one giant hole in the wall. But it appears that Bandit is taking his batteries to it, so he won't have an easy time with it, and he has his electrified barbed wire as well, so Twitch is going to have some difficulty getting into the objective to shock those wires.
So we're going to see if Twitch isn't able to really get the shock wire and the anti-breach that she needs to clear. We're going to see if Ash can come here and assist her, as she does have the grenade launcher to help clear that.
I think I just saw Iron Sight on Abana. That's not the meta site, per se.
All right, so we're going to see how the attackers choose to operate here. They are looking to push upstairs and not really do much of a roam clear here. So we're going to see if the roamers that defense has here are able to get a lot of value.
Ooh, that's a very interesting angle Red Slime is choosing to hold. But there are people going upstairs, so on the very roof. So we'll see if they could clear him out. I think he's just not able to see the angle. The Twitch. Oh, wait. Can you see him? I don't think so. We can see the outlines of everyone, but the players cannot. They can only. I don't believe they could see any outlines at all. And I think he almost saw him there.
They're taking a lot of time to do this roam clear. Already at 2 minutes now, and it doesn't really seem like Twitch has made any progress here. We're going to see how close everyone else can be able to push in here.
There are a lot of attackers sitting on the roof right now. They appear to just be droning and getting ready. They appear to be going for a B-side take. That's pretty recommended considering they don't have a Thermite for an A-side take. And Legion's sitting very close to the door, and he's ready to attack it. Oh, and in other places, Jackal gets a kill. Where is that? And the first line charge goes off.
All right, so we can see here, Lion has already set up at the window. With the lack of Blackbeard here, they are just going to have Lion kind of sit over by the window to hold that angle. But he does go down. Smoke has a huge kill on him, removing a lot of the utility they had, as well as a whole body out of there. And again, we're already at a minute here, and it doesn't seem like the attackers have been able to make any viable progress onto the site. We see Habana here kind of opening it up a little bit, but they are slowly running out of time. They're going to have to make a move eventually. And defense does have a lot of trap-oriented and stall-out characters here that are going to be able to kind of wind down the clock, putting the pressure on the attackers quite a bit.
Looks like Legion is at a very good spot, but he's not able to take the kill on Twitch. And he also has position compromised by a breaching charge there. He did manage to shoot out some of the X-Kairos pellets from Hibana, making that wall unbreachable. And here's Bandit with a huge flank. Let's see if he can see everyone else. Oh, and he catches one more.
Defense doing a really good job of spreading out and catching them, as they have many roamers and they really took advantage of it. Evening it up to a 2-1, really in favor of the defense here. We're going to see how they're able to stall this out, as there is only 10 seconds left.
Ooh,
it is a 1v1 situation, but with 10 seconds on the clock and plenty of traps in place, it looks like the defense is going to have a clean hold here.
5 seconds to go.
Ooh.
And there it is, Kapkan on and off angle, just waiting for Ash to walk right in and clean that up.
Due to the attackers stalling early in the game, early in the round, they didn't. The Ash in the end didn't have a lot of time to maybe gather some information on that Kapkan, who just happened to sneak in there.
Yeah, so we can see how a lot of their information gathering at the start of the round really kind of hurt them in the end, as they didn't have enough time to push. And when they did push, it expended a lot of their resources and bodies, kind of giving them a huge disadvantage there.
I think they should choose their spawn points a bit better.
Yeah, it seems like the attackers have been very, very spread when kind of coming in for the attack here. We really want to see a more coordinated push coming out from them in order to take them out, as well as kind of protect themselves from these roamers, as well as maybe do a roam clear from the bottom. I know that they haven't really been utilizing it too much, but it would be a good opportunity for them to, one, move as a team, and B, secure areas safely.
I don't think the defenders are focusing too heavily on downstairs, because usually Pulse will be played there, and Pulse hasn't seen any play at all yet. So, but Valkyrie is coming out again. I believe this is the first time that the P4C team is bringing out Valkyrie.
And we will see the 6th op pick here for opting to choose Dokkaebi. So we're going to see what kind of information there that they do lose from Lion, but will gain from Dokkaebi, and how they're going to take advantage of that. And if they are able to get the cams early, they can take advantage of this Valkyrie pick.
Attackers have located a bomb.
They both have global abilities though, so press a button and you're good. Defenders have not set up upstairs yet. This site is usually set up by setting up on the 2nd floor and looking down into the objective. But Loco is making some interesting improvements to the site here. He's shooting at the bottom of that soft wall so that they could see into it from the other side. And fully review Bra appears to have a little bit trouble shooting this drone. And it gets away.
We're going to kind of see how they choose to hold this again. We've seen the value of holding the high ground. We're going to see if the defense opt to take advantage of it. They have enough mobility to be able to operate between the high and low grounds here. So we're going to want to see from the attackers a roam clear, from the defenders an upstairs hold. Otherwise, you're really going to give up a lot of that advantageous space.
It doesn't look like they have anything set up on the 2nd floor, but let's see if the attackers decide to take advantage of that. They are set up to attack it, but some of them have dropped off to the 1st floor. Captain Clean is choosing to go to the roof.
So again, kind of a split push here. We're going to see how they either A, effectively take the space away from them, or B, might get picked off, Even though they are mostly playing site, it is very dangerous to roam alone on the attackers here. Because even if the people are playing site on defense, you don't necessarily know that. So you're going to have to take your time checking each corner, and you're not really going to have anyone to drone for you. So you're going to have a really slow push, but you're going to cover a lot of ground at once.
The attackers appear to be spending quite a bit of time on the roof, and it's a bit ill-advised considering there's no one even on the 2nd floor.
And we can see kind of how the first time they did that as well, they really ran out of time towards the end. So they're going to have to look here to move quickly and not lose all that time.
So the 2nd floor offers a lot of positional advantage to the attackers, and there's no defenders there yet. So it's pretty much just free real estate at that point. They could just move in and take it. I believe someone's closing in on it. No.
All right, so we do see kind of a B push here, kind of opting to get that smaller site out of the way. They're not taking advantage of the high ground, but now there's a defense. So kind of an even playing field there. But there is a pick off on the attackers going down a player here. The defense already taking a solid advantage, and the attackers haven't really even entered the building yet.
And that pick was on Habana, but there's not very many critical reinforcements to breach on this objective, so that's not the biggest loss. Dokkaebi is using a call, and let's see if he sees the person sitting right there. Oh, maybe not.
So Dokkaebi is upstairs now, and she is able to take advantage of the high ground, but she doesn't really have the tools able to take advantage of watching B site from above. However, she is able to at least deny the positioning and guarantee the safety of her attacker friends if they want to push B. However, time is running out once again, and they do have plenty of trap ops as well as smoke here to kind of stall things out. So again, we see the attackers in the same situation as last round, really running low on time and not able to formulate a concise attack fast enough.
15 seconds remaining.
All right, so we see the attackers here on 3 different locations, kind of looking to push them in. The smoke is drawing the time down, and we see Ash enter here. He does manage to find a pick, but can they get the plant off? He's planting in the smoke, takes some damage for it, and he does go down on the plant. That will be another round for the defenders here.
It looks like the attackers stalled out a bit there. They couldn't find a way to effectively take B site, and the defenders read into that, and they stacked up a lot, holding multiple angles onto effectively the same thing, but I mean, like, they weren't really picked off much, so it didn't really matter in the end.
So we will see an even score here, 4-4, with the attackers really struggling to formulate a plan. So we're going to have to see some sort of adaptation from them in order to breach this defense. You know, they have a lot of space. The defense hasn't really been utilizing roamers, and they really need to take advantage of it. So we're going to see how they choose to operate here coming into the next round.
So this is 2-6 with a 2-score difference, so it does go into overtime. And the attackers and defenders are quite neck and neck, so we might see them going into overtime if they can't put 2 rounds on the board.
So we see the choice of Buck here, a very strong fragger with a lot of utility in terms of soft breach. Hopefully they use him to utilize the high ground as well as some of those soft walls that they've been tending to neglect here. So hopefully that will give them an advantage coming into this. However, we have seen the attackers struggle quite a bit, so they're going to have to work together in order to make progress quick enough, as well as not lose too much assets getting in there.
So Buck is a very good pick on border because border has a lot of soft floors and ceilings, which means you can shoot up through them or down through them. And Buck's good at effectively breaching the floor or ceiling, regardless of what level they're attacking, because if they're attacking the first floor, he could breach the floor on the second floor, and the ceiling of the first floor if they're attacking the second floor.
We have a little oopsies on defense here. It looks like Legion has already taken half his health, presumably from someone trying to shoot a drone. A nice big blood splatter there, right along the floor. So that's going to be a slight disadvantage for the defense, but nothing too major. We do see that they are going to hold the downstairs side here, and we're going to see how the attackers choose to operate. Now, once again, they have really spent a lot of time here just standing outside, trying to gather information, and not making concise push fast enough. So we're going to see how they choose to remedy that, and hopefully they don't run out of time again this time.
So they have brought a thermite this time, so they're going to be able to open up that big wall, and they have a twitch as well, so they have a lot of insurance for that hard breach. Although it is electrified, so the twitch will have to get on that.
So hopefully that with this added utility here for breaching, they're going to be able to find enough angles and push. However, they once again are still kind of outside here, already passing 30 seconds into the round. Still kind of looking for what they want to do.
Legion and Bandit are playing a bit off-site. They are not actually on the right side of the map. The attackers are planning a west side push. They're on the east side, so they should probably get on that rotation. And the Buck's making some good use of his utility here by shooting out. Oh no, that was not Buck. That was Jackal, who shot out the top of that wall. But he's not shooting out the batteries yet, so we'll see what that leads to.
So again, they are doing an upstairs roam clear on the attack here, but again, they're spending a lot of time to do so. We see Jackal here really abusing the high ground though, allowing him to take some good angles and prevent some rotations. But it's costing them a lot of time, and we don't want to see them run into the same issues as they've had last round. Even though the defense don't have a smoke, they still have to worry about that clock ticking down.
And Thermite has breached into the objective, but he could not get the angle on Bandit, who gets the kill. If he decides to run out, he might get some good picks, although multiple people are holding the angle.
So we are going to see Twitch rotate out, and as well as Buck rotate out here, you know. The defenders knowing where they are. However, we really see that high ground advantage coming in here as Jackal is able to take out Logo here. A really good advantage positioning-wise. It gives them a huge body count as well. Really evening up the score 4-4 here again with the number of bodies in play. However, the defense is looking a little hurt, but again, the attackers have not taken a lot of space, and there's only 45 seconds remaining.
Ooh, and Capian just misses the head there. Oh, it looks like Jackal's taking advantage of the high ground still. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he can quite scan the footprints there. That hatch is soft, so he could breach that. And he gets a good angle to, who is that? That's Capian there. Let's see if he, and he just gets the angle. Now it's 2v3, and the attackers are very deep into the objective. And Mute is a bit far off-site, and so is Legion, so they do have full control over both objectives, it looks like.
Jackal gets a lot of value here on the high ground. They do get the plant off with very minimal time left. And we can see Jackal's use of the high ground is huge. With his ability as well, he's able to take out another one. Jackal getting a ton of value this round, both taking the high ground as well as finding the kills he needs.
And Mute has taken the high ground now. He's gotten the flank. He's taken one out. Now he's got one left because Twitch is down, looks like. Yep,
so
Twitch
it is essentially a 1v1 situation here, and we're going to see what each op chooses to do here.
Oh, he gets the angle. He gets one of them. Can he get the other one? No, he does not. And Twitch gets him. He just got picked up just in time.
What a really good pickup there. Just in time for him to be able to clean up the kill. Very clutch from him as well. So that'll be a great attack from them. Really utilizing the high ground that they kind of missed out on before.
Usually the role of the high ground goes to Buck on most maps because he could clear it out a lot faster. He's got underbarrel shotgun, so he could switch between his primary weapon and his underbarrel shotgun a lot faster than Jackal can, who switches between a secondary shotgun and a primary rifle. But he made it work. He got the right angles and picked up the defenders one by one. Defenders didn't really have any adaptation to that until Mute did take the high ground eventually, but that was a bit too late by then.
So I believe this will be match point for Weeabootique here if they do win this, correct?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to want to see some sort of adaptation coming from the defense here. They really need to start to find a solution, or this match will be over.
They are going to Armory Lockers, which I don't think there's been a successful attack on that site, so they do have a good chance of putting this into overtime. If they could put one more match on the board, then they can go into overtime and they have to win two more. But they're not in hot water.
They are looking to mix things up here with an alibi, which may help slow down their push, as the attackers have had a very, very slow push. They're going to have to drone out now and make sure whether it's really alibi or what of is. So maybe that will help stall it out, as well as they took the smoke back. So they might be looking to run down the clock here. So we're going to see how effective that strategy is going to be, as it does look like the offense here has opted for Lion once again.
Additionally, Ninja Chess has chosen Legion, who is very effective at slowing down pushes, because those Legion mines are very hard to see.
So I think it's really going to come down to a battle of the clock here. We're going to see how effectively the attackers are able to take space and find value fast enough in order to enable their plant.
Looks like they've all spawned Valley and are sprinting towards the building. There doesn't appear to be a spawn peak, so at least they're relatively safe.
And it doesn't seem like roamers have been utilized too much, as well as roam clear not really being too present here. So we're going to see how they choose to enter here.
The first Lion charge appears to be going out very early in the round. And Twitch has gotten into the building. Ooh, and Holy Review Bra gets a kill. Oh, but he's got multiple angles onto him. Oh, and he gets a second. He's protecting that CCTV with his life.
Brock having a really good offside hold here. Already able to find two. Doesn't manage to find a third. Goes down for it. As well as the guy, the local holding with him as well, also goes down. So even though he gets those two picks, it is evened up. But Ash does manage to find a quick pick onto Red Slime here. Giving the attackers a body advantage here. And it is from the roof. You are correct. Utilizing that high ground and preventing any sort of rotations that they want to use here.
This round has been really fast. Only a minute into the round, and there's only 5 people left. Half of the people are already dead. As you can see, the only defender on site is Smoke, and he's on B site. If the attackers can read into this, they could possibly push into B site, but Ash appears to still be on the roof.
Yeah, so Ash being really careful, making sure to get information and clear roamers, as they may have spotted the smoke on site, but they still don't know quite where the Legion is. They do manage to find the Legion, though, through that carefulness. So it will be a 3v1 situation here. So we're going to see what Smoke can do to try to zone them out. They've managed to bring the clock down to about a minute left. So we're going to see if he's able to time them out, find a pick, or if the attackers are going to overwhelm him here.
Ooh, he finds one. That's 2 more to go.
So he's holding this angle very strong. He does have control of both sides as of right now. And the attackers really aren't putting too much pressure on him. They're entering very slowly, and they have a really efficient use of the smoke here. You can see either he saw or predicted that they were entering through that main door, and is able to smoke them out for just a little bit longer, clocking the attack, making the clock tick down to 40 seconds already.
Jackal has made a rotation.
Jackal does get a track onto Smoke, so he's going to be really, really susceptible here, as his information will be given out very rapidly, and this would be a good time for the attackers to push him.
Smoke is out of gas canisters, so they are pushing. And Jackal gets the shots off.
Yep, with the utilization of Jackal's eye tracker, he is able to find that Smoke and take him out. So a very good push from the offense here, not taking nearly as long as they have before.
They push quite decisively, even past their initial man disadvantage.
That's one map.
And that's the first map towards Weeabootique.
So this will be a best of 3. So the next map, if won by Weeabootique, will be a match point. We are going to take a 3-minute break here, and we'll be back in a minute. So hang tight.
It looks like Weeabootique is very top heavy with Ben Ped and Patel getting a lot of kills there.